Well, we have some more clearer video to show you of the plane crash debris from the American Airlines Flight 5342 with the Army's Black Hawk helicopter back in January. The NTSB just gave us this video a few minutes ago from February 9th and from today, February 10th, showing some of the recovered records that they've been examining in the hangar there. And so right off the bat, they're examining the wreckage debris of the Black Hawk helicopter with what looks like some representatives from the military there to probably help them figure out what's what. Because, man, it looks like a tangled mess there. And it's going to be very difficult putting all of these pieces together and then also trying to figure out, okay, what settings on these systems were in place when it crashed? You know, how were they set? Or did any of these get bumped during the crash? So that's always going to be something they have to figure out. That looks like one of the seats. And it's probably one of the rear seats. This doesn't look big enough to be one of the pilot or co-pilot seats. So there they're examining the harness from that seat. What I want to see there is the night vision goggles that were there. Now, the NTSB did say that they think they were wearing them. So that must mean they have evidence, like when they recovered the bodies. And a lot of people were asking me, well, how did they recover the bodies if it was such a mangled mess? Well, they probably still found a way to get them out. Otherwise, they probably would have had to wait until they got the helicopter in the hangar. So now here we are. They're looking at the airplane. Now, see, this looks like the left wing to me, folks. I do not think this is the right wing. So if you think this is the left wing like I do, let us know in the comments. Because, see, this dispels a lot of theories where some people think that the Black Hawk helicopter crashed into the left wing underneath the plane as the plane was turning left, as it was making that steep bank turn into the runway. So some people think the helicopter just flew right under it and made contact with the left wing and made it explode. But this video here shows that this would not be the case then, because the left wing is pretty much intact according to this video. And so here the NTSB investigator is taking photographs of some of the damaged spots. Now, I don't know what this part is. Sometimes we never get a good view of everything there. So then here's more video from today that was shot at the hangar. So this is more on the Black Hawk helicopter. And again here, it looks like they're trying to separate these two parts. And look at this, they bring out the big old breaker bar wrench. So they're already starting to disassemble the Black Hawk helicopter parts, probably to get at certain control systems there. So they probably need to get at something that's right behind that spot where he's loosening that bolt. See, they never quite give us enough, they don't show us enough details. Yeah, we got some okay here. But I want to see it in relation to where the rest of the helicopter is. I want to know what part this is they're operating on. So, yeah, I have those exact same diagonals. Those look like the Klein diagonal cutters, which are, it's strange. It's actually wire cutters, but yet he's using it to try to cut some of this sheet metal. And I don't know why he wants to do that either. I mean, look, he's kind of like damaging it, pulling it off. So they must be trying to get at something that's behind that. Now, I've been guilty of this before too, but using the diagonals is not the best way to twist off the sheet metal. You see, there's the diagonals there, the ones that I think are the Kleins. That's really more for electrical work. But you know what? The Kleins are really good. They are very robust, and so are their lineman pliers. And you can really do some damage with those things. See, look at that, tough enough to cut sheet metal. They also released these 6 photos that I'm showing you here today. It looks like they're examining different parts of the airframe there, and he's got evidence. And they're working on the Black Hawk helicopter. And I think that's sort of a photograph of when they were looking at the seat. And just a nice mangled mess. There's that other part that I couldn't identify. I think it might be from the Black Hawk helicopter. If you know, let us know down in the comments below. Now, I wanted to show you this part again in slow motion to examine what's happening in the background there. That looks like one of the jet engines from the American Airlines Flight 5342. right there on the left, along with the landing gear. And then if you look right over the guy's head there, see, you can see a portion of the cabin with some of the windows and one of the emergency exits over the right wing with the landing gear. They're still intact. So I'm sort of gathering from all of this that both wings were pretty much intact and that there wasn't any explosion on the wings, that neither wing was hit. So it makes me wonder then, where did that explosion come from? Because that was a pretty big explosion when the two of these aircraft collided with each other at 300 feet above the Potomac River. It was likely from the helicopter then, from the Black Hawk. So that was all video in addition to what you're seeing here, which is what the NTSB had provided for us a few days ago, showing how they salvaged the Black Hawk helicopter out of the Potomac River. So here you can see they were pulling it up on the crane, and it just, you can see just how badly that this Black Hawk helicopter was mangled when it crashed. And remember, so part of it, this mangling happened when it slammed into the airplane. And then keep in mind, too, when you gravity free fall there from 300 feet up into water, you know, some people probably think water is a good shock absorber, but it's not. Crash landing on the water might as well be like landing on a concrete surface, because it's not very giving. And on top of that, it was only 8 feet deep of water, too. But at least the rest of the helicopter, the rear end of it, seems to be not too worse for the wear, so to speak. But you can see just how bad the front end of it looks. And you can see the scorching on the front of it, too, from when it had the fire from the explosion. And the NTSB also confirmed today that they do have both of the black boxes from both aircraft in their possession in their labs. And so hopefully it won't be too much longer before they give us some data on the Black Hawk helicopter as to what it was doing. I want to know a lot more finer details and accuracies on especially the altitude of it, where it was, when, and what settings all of the controls were set to. So I'm hoping that the NTSB stays transparent and continues to give us more detailed videos of their analysis, particularly inside the hangar there. Keep in mind that I am still working on that video that I mentioned the other day that I was going to do here for you, where we're probably dispelling some of the potential causes that a lot of people are guessing might have happened here during this collision. So make sure you watch out for that coming up soon. And if you haven't seen the previous video I did here on the DC crash, here it is up on the upper left. Make sure you check that out. And if you haven't seen my latest video on the Philadelphia Metajack crash, make sure you check that one out too. That's on the lower left.